Good morning, First Unity. All right, happy Sunday. Me and all my friends, we're all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong in the world, those who lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to rise up and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. Keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's hard to be resistant when we're standing at a distance. Keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. Now if we had the power to bring our neighbors home from war, they would have never missed a Christmas. No more ribbons on the door. And when you trust your television, what you get is what you got. 'Cause when they own the information, ooh, they can bend it all they want. That's why we're waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's not that we don't care, it's just this fight just ain't fair. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. Waiting, yeah. Ooh, waiting, go waiting. Hey, on waiting. Oh, we keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. Oh, yeah. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. Waiting, world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change.
All right. Wow. Great job, Daniel, and the voices. Let's give them a great big hand. And welcome to First Unity Spiritual Campus, the most electrifying, innovative, right, energetic spiritual community in the world. Just breathe that infinite power within you right now. Breathe it in. Let me hear you breathing. Breathe it in. It has no memory. It has no recall. It's brand new, just waiting for you to label it something. You know what I'm saying? And so that is that part of the co-creation spirit. So I say to you, hello from an open heart this morning. Put your hand on the heart, on your heart. Somebody else's if you're called to do so. And just fill that space for a minute. Because that's the place we want you to come from today as you are holding sacred space with us. We are a community that truly lives by inclusion, diversity, and we are here of all acceptance. We have no shame, and we do not blame our parents if we're over 30 years old. That's for sure, yes? And so if you'd stand and join me as we bring our energy together, as we state the great invocation by our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. We are now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom, now erase our mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation our world according to thy perfect law. And that's what I'm inviting you to do today, is to be immersed in the conversation and in the music that we are offering here as we are honoring Martin Luther King and his legacy today. And I'm asking you to be immersed. I'm actually asking you to forget a lot of things that you think you know, so you can live in a space that is the mystery of your soul. And so I want to welcome all of you online viewers. It's so great to have all of you, and also encourage you, if you haven't already, to go and see our new website, firstunity.org. And while you're there, you can follow the simple instructions to go on your phone, smartphone, and through Google Play or iPhone Play Store, you can download our app. You can literally follow us and various things that we do, to the level of don't go beyond codependency, but you know what I mean. You can watch us on YouTube as well, or Facebook or IGTV, and share our broadcast. This week we had 45 countries watching us, including Armenia, hello, Norway, the Gambia, Ireland, Italy, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Let's give them a lot of love. Of course, the U.S. and in Florida. One of the things that we say so often, I'm going to talk about it a little bit today, is that we are not broken, and the world is not broken. And we offer courses on ILI, and of a wide range, whether it's racism, whether it's healthy parenting, whether it's longevity, energy, all of these courses. So please check in if you haven't done so already. Today, as we are honoring Dr. King, I wanted to read to you the undertone that we are working with today. It's Dr. King's beloved community statement. It's a global vision in which all people can share in the wealth of the earth. In the beloved community, poverty, hunger, and homelessness will not be tolerated because international standards of human decency will not allow it. Racism and all forms of discrimination, bigotry, and prejudice will be replaced by an inclusive spirit of sisterhood and brotherhood. So we're going to be real with you today. This is not Leave It to Beaver material. We're going to be showcasing what the real world is right here and right now. Thank you for being with us.
At some point must change. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Oh. Everything must change. Nothing goes unchanged. The young become old. Mysteries do unfold. That's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life that you can be sure of. From the clouds and the sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. hummingbirds, birds they do fly. We know for a fact that rain comes. We know that the sun lights up, and we know that hummingbirds do fly. We know for a fact that rain comes from the clouds, and the sun will light up the sky, and as sure as fish will swim, birds will fly. Everything must change. Woo.
Keeps on lifting me, keep on lifting me higher, higher.
There's the giving of love, and there's often the act of giving a love also through financial support.
You love your spiritual community and you show it in a myriad of ways. One of the top ways to support your spiritual campus during the time when our doors are closed but our hearts are open, we continue our operations through your continued financial support and love offerings. And the easiest way to do that is using Text to Give, and we are forever grateful for your support.
Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Do you ever have this situation where you're led or guided or almost pushed to be someplace that you need to be instead of the place that you thought you wanted to go? You have been moved to the place you need to be instead of the place that you thought you wanted to go. I lived most of my life on the far west coast or the far east coast. I grew up in California, right in the middle of Silicon Valley, way out there. And then I moved myself with my beautiful wife all the way to the tip of Cape Cod, the most eastern point you could possibly get, and skipped everything in between most of my life. So for 58 years, I avoided everything in the middle, most especially what I called the South. I was afraid of the South. It represented a history, and I didn't want to go and face that history. And I thought it would meet me and greet me in a way that I wasn't ready. But you know, Spirit has other ideas. So I'm sitting in a room as an executive in a high-tech company, and I'm getting an award for my leadership, and the woman who's sitting next to me is from the South. And she says to me at the table, and people can hear her all around the room, "Gee, I never sat next to a black person before." And everyone in the room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. What is she going to say? She's a vice president. This is her thing, whatever, right? And I just turned to her and I said, "Well, how is it?" And we were all good. So that just reinforced, though, this idea that I don't know about the South, right? So what I do as a coach, I coach executive leaders. And so every year I always choose a coach for myself to walk the talk and work with someone. So I saw this person on the front of a magazine cover, and I liked the way she looked, and I liked her story and what she was about and everything. And I said, okay, I'm going to sign up for this one. This is going to be my person this year. I was very busy, wasn't paying attention to anything, and I signed up for a 2-day retreat with her, and I needed to book my flights for the retreat where I was going to go. Where was I going to go? Charleston, South Carolina. I said, oh, come on. And I was already booked. I was already booked with the event, so I needed to go. So there I was in the place where most of the enslaved people came through to the United States. And I needed to walk up to that dock and deal with that situation. But that was Spirit speaking to me saying, I know where you thought you wanted to go, but this is where you need to be, okay? And that was just a few years before I was invited to be a facilitator on a program for a travel educational company that I always worked with, and I didn't, again, not paying attention to what the thing was exactly, but you know what you're going to do? And we can show that first slide. This is what you're going to do. You are going to be on the Civil Rights Trail, not just learning about it, you're going to walk it. You're going to walk the Civil Rights Trail. You're going to be in Montgomery, Alabama. You're going to be in Selma. You are going to walk the Pettus Bridge. You're going to walk from the river to the place where people were auctioned off. This is going to be yours to do, and they want you to talk about it and write about it. This is what Spirit does. Stands me next to a statue of Rosa Parks where she got onto the bus. Okay? This was necessary for my growth. So this afternoon, I am going to talk a little bit about this idea of getting proximate with that which challenges you, getting close to the things that you might find a little bit scary, getting deep on those issues because we need to know the soil from which we came in order to decide what we're going to grow from now. So get proximate with me this afternoon. This is an expression that Brian Stevenson, who founded the Equal Justice Institute, made very, very famous in his movie Just Mercy, in his book Just Mercy. He says, get proximate with that which challenges you, get proximate with the suffering, get close to it. He was a Harvard-trained lawyer who moved to Alabama to release prisoners from death row. Sometimes we need to get close to the thing that we maybe fear in order to transform into something new. Get proximate with me this afternoon at 1:30. We'll see you then. Thank you.
We're going to do a song, one of Dr. King's favorites, and it was sang by none other than Mahalia Jackson. How I got over, how I got over, you know my soul looks back and wonders how I made it over. How I got over, made it on over. Oh, you know my soul. Look back and wonder how I made it over. Oh, how I got over, how I got over, my Lord. You know my soul. How you taught me. Oh, yes. I want to thank you for how you kept me. Oh, yes. I thank you because you never ever left me. Oh, yes. I am thankful for old time religion. Oh, yes. I am thankful for heavenly vision. Oh, yes. I want to thank you for your healing waters. Oh, yes. I thank you for God's sons and daughters. Oh, yes. I'm gonna sing hallelujah. I'm gonna sing your hallelujah. I thank you, Spirit, for how you cover. I thank you for your grace and how it covers. How I got over.
how we got over. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King once said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." As we take a moment for our affirmative prayer, I'd like to ask all my brothers and sisters of all races, creeds, colors, open your heart and your mind, your soul and your spirit, and see everyone that you come in contact with as God's light, God's love. Just close your eyes for a moment. Look at all the people in your mind's eye that you saw today so far. See them as God's light and God's love. Feel your spirit intertwining with their spirit. Feel the peace, feel the joy. For this is the heaven on earth that we are intended to live. Seeing one another as one. The only differences are the different expressions of God that we are. See one another as God's light. See one another as God's love. Now, my brothers and sisters, if you just put your hands out for a moment. And send out right there, wherever you are, the light that is within you, send that out to all your brothers and sisters that you are one with in this world. And may the beautiful white light of our God, our Creator, spread throughout the world and the universe, bringing us all together in this time, today and forevermore, as one love, one light, one peace, and one joy. Namaste.
Another one of Dr. Martin Luther King's favorite songs, also sung by Mahalia Jackson, written by Thomas A. Dorsey. Precious Lord, take my hand. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stay. I get tired. Oh, sometimes I get weak. I need you to lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, and lead me on. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, precious Lord, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone, yeah. I need you, God. I need your spirit. Hear my cry. I need you to hear my call. In the middle of the night, I need you to hold my hand. Hold my hand, God. Hold my hand, God. Let's stop on. Take my hand. Precious Lord, and lead me on. Oh, yeah. We need you today, God. The country needs you today, God. The nation needs you today, God. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I think from this point on, people are going to remember that it was Wanda, Nero, Butler that sang this song. Are you with me? Oh, my word. Wow. I started playing softball when I was 9 years old. And every time somebody was on that field to practice getting better, I was there. And I practiced anytime I had a chance with anybody I could get to play, with any team, and sometimes I played on more than one team on the practice fields. But you know, there came a time that practice wasn't enough. There came a time that I had to stop impressing myself on how great I was during the practice, and I had to get out and play a real game. Are you with me? I had to get out and play with what I had learned and with what I knew, because practice isn't enough. And making a decision isn't enough. And being a new thought center and everybody kumbaya and holding hands, that's all wonderful, and reminding each other of how evolved we are at the age of Aquarius and continuing to practice our affirmations. It's all very impressive. But it's sometimes we are called to get beyond the practice and to make some real stuff happen, and to make some activity happen, and to be known for our good works in the world. Yes? There's another thing that I understood about being on this softball team, and I'm just going to tell you, you can judge me for whatever. I was good. You know what I'm saying? I would walk up to that team and I'd go, you better go way out there because, honey, this is going over your head. Well, what I have to say today is not designed to go over your head, but it's from my heart. And what I learned most of all about what made great teams, it would be the teams that could come back when they were losing. You know, it's one thing to hit a home run. It's another thing to strike out and then go hit a home run. You know what I mean? And the amazing human being who is my mentor, who I draw from his energy so many times in my life, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., you have to realize when he stopped practicing and started playing the game, he was representing a losing team. His team was losing. His black families across America were losing. All right? And he took over a losing team. And you look at just a window of time, what he was able to do and what he was able to accomplish. And then you tell me, why not you? And why not me? He said the ultimate measure of a person is not where they stand in moments of comfort and convenience, but where they stand at times of challenge and converse. This is the time, as you are looking at your controversy, to look at the part of what challenges you. What challenges you? And the dictionary that has many ideas of what challenge means, the one I love is challenge is an invitation. It's an invitation for something greater to be called from you. For words, for modeling, for space, for energy. You know, people will often say to me, you know, you talk about not being divided and you talk about this and that, but, you know, give me some ideas of what I can do. And I'm like, what I'm going to do is pray for you that your innate active self that is born in the Spirit, that can look at things that you know are not right. You don't need 7 things you can do, because I'm going to do the 7 things I know to do, but even if I told you what to do, they wouldn't work for you. So rather than say I'm going to tell you a group of things to do, I'm going to ask that you wake up. And I'm going to invite you to open up your heart, because on every block you can find something in America for you to do. All right? It's just all around you. Broken toys and broken dreams and ways for you to be of service. There's a couple that they went to a boarding house to adopt a child. And they had all the little children all prepped up. And they had them all ready, and, you know, they were clean and had on their fancy little outfits, and the couple went, every child. And they look at the boarding attendant and said, do you have any other children? She said, well, we have one in the back. We have one in the back, but he's not cleaned up. And he is unmannered. He misbehaves. His parents didn't even want him. And they said, well, that's who we want to see. We want to see him. So he comes out, and their hearts are open, and they said, we want him. And they said, you want us to go give him a bath, and you want us to clean him up? They said, no, we want him just as he is. We want him just as he is, because we already know that he is just covered in the blessings of God. You know, sometimes you have to get in when it's messy. Sometimes you have to get in when it feels like it's not cleaned up. And sometimes you have to make a deeper choice to get off that practice field and get in the game. And that's what it's called for, you know, to do. It's more than kumbaya and peace songs. It's about the activating the Spirit, so that one day we don't have to sing this peace song, because we're living the peace song in another way, you know. There's a big difference between knowing you are blessed and counting your blessings. One is your head. The other is you're activating who you are. There's a big difference between knowing that there's work to be done and moving into your heart and saying, what is the work I am to do? What is the work I am to do? You know, I get all passionate when it comes to talking about Martin Luther King and my black brothers and sisters, and I do the best I can to find words, because I've always been known in my work that I talk about things I've lived. I don't talk about subjects I know very little about. We got enough people doing that, you know what I mean? I like to talk about what I know or what I've survived or or all that. But I do know that within me that there is a space that I understand what it means to be broken. And so people will say to me, well, Reverend Temple, do you mean that you're telling me I'm not, none of us are broken, the world isn't broken? You mean it's okay if I cheat on my wife? That's not what I said. Do you think it's okay if I cheat my employer? Do you think it's okay that I tell people lies and that's okay and I can do whatever I want? And I'm like, honey, that's karma. That is not what I said. Your karma's got you. What you do will come back to you right in your face. If not immediately, you'll see it on the afterlife. But you will. That's your karma. That's your cause and effect. No, I'm talking about that if we believe that we are born in the image and likeness of God, unless your God is about that big, you know what I'm saying, about like that, and you put God in your pocket. If you believe that you are made in the image and likeness of God, do you believe that? If you believe that with all your heart and all your might and all your strength, then you can't be broken unless you believe that God is broken. And so if you're not broken, and the reason that we believe that we're broken, I as a gay woman thought I was broken, well trained accordingly of how broke I was. Black people, you're broken. Is that space that's societal belief. That is societal belief. It's a religiosity. It's that you have been given the wrong information. It's because somebody has taught you the wrong set of values, because you can't be made in the image and likeness of God and be broken at the same time. But I was broken. I was so broken. And I wanted to not be broken, and I wanted to be in alignment, and I wanted to be congruent, and I wanted to always tell the truth. But when I got around people that were already so flamboyant and so out, they made me so uncomfortable, I just wanted to crawl in a hole. I'm like, you are too out for me. Oh my God. My family almost put me away in a mental health center. You're just too out for me. Oh my God. And so in any space, that broken would come out. It would come out, and it would make me want to hide, and it would be unconscious. It would be that I wasn't aware of it, but it would grab me like the wind, and it would hit me, and it would shut me down. There were many times forever ago as a teenager in my 20s that I wanted to do all kind of marches for my black brothers and sisters, but my brokenness kept me at home. It kept me at home. And the thing of it is that if you want to be a part of beloved community, you've got to heal what you believe about you is broken. You've got to reveal what about you that you feel is broken. Because until you do, it will run your life. And until you do, you can't stand for everybody out loud, and you can't shout from the mountaintops because you're too afraid to be found out about whatever it is that you have a hole about. And as best I can tell, my friend Patsy lost her son when he was young. He died. And she said she went to all kind of programs to get a different perspective, to heal that space. And she went to see Raymond Mooney, the expert about, I understand he lost a daughter, and he's written about near-death experiences and, those kind of things. And she said that in a workshop, he painted a circle on a chalkboard, and he colored in that circle. And he said, this is the hole. This is what about you is broken. And you may always have this hole. That is your grief. But the difference is outside the circle, the love gets more noticed. Outside the circle, life force gets bigger. Outside the circle, things get easier. And that to me is what we're doing collectively as a nation now. And the misrepresentation, the lies of what we heard in school and everything else is that outside the circle, love is getting bigger. And outside the circle, love is getting greater. And outside the circle, there are a few brave souls that are tired of sitting around and holding each other's hand and ready to do something about being in the game. That's what it's about, is playing on the playing field. I don't need to tell you the projects you need to do. Just Google, and 7 million ideas will come up. You need to decide that you no longer represent what it's like to be broken, so you can step forward and do something with it, you see. I was taught many years ago to write down 50 things that you love about your life. Changed my life. I did it every day for 4 years. I wrote 50 things that I loved about my life. Some of you have heard me say this before. It was very uncomfortable at first when I could think of 5 or 6 things. When I lived and I'm broken. When I'm not broken, how many pages you want me to fill in? Because I'm talking about the infinity of God, you see. And those of you that stay attached to that TV and you are enslaved to it and letting breaking news break you, you have got to release that addiction. You have got to release that addiction. It is an addiction, and if it hadn't killed you already, it will. And I'm just shooting you straight. You can get a little notification if it's something so important, but you do not need to turn your TV on and start your day with 50 bad things for you to be afraid of before you ever start your life. And you can tell the people that immerse themselves in breaking news. They even walk differently. They walk like this. They just kind of, tote their feet where they're going. We must be wise. We must resurrect common sense. You cannot immerse yourself in breaking news because it's designed to break you. And if it hasn't already, it will. And so in that, you want to be selective about what you want in your life. And you can peek in once. You can peek in once a day and go, I don't ever show up here on a Sunday morning without peeking in to see if something's happened to my brothers and sisters in another country or something. I'm not going to stand here and go, woo, when I know that we need to go in prayer about something. That's common sense, right? It's common sense. But the things you're supposed to know, you will know. And the things that matter to you, you will be told, one way or another. But you don't just immerse yourself in it all the time, because it will take you. I was telling 2 or 3 people, those that were interested, that I just took a blood test because I want to look at, my allergies to food or what best supports my immune system. Me, I'm committed to being forever young, and I'm doing my part. But I got back, 33 things I couldn't eat that I'm not supposed to eat for quite some time. Well, the 33 things were the 33 things I eat all the time. So all of a sudden, you get the feedback, right? Oh my gosh, what you going to do? What you going to do? How you going to, what in the world are you going to do? I said, I'm going to focus on the 85 things I can eat. That's what life is about. You focus with common sense on what you can do something about. Does this work for you? Is it, a lot of people just, they're stuck. They're anesthetized because of news and data and fear, and they're just, anesthetized. And so they're at this stop sign. And this stop sign still stands for still trying to overcome problems. I want to help those kids over there, but I got to wait till I get my life together. Or I'm going to do this so I feel like I'm a perfectionist. I'm going to wait till I have more money, and then I'm going to do something about that cause. Have you ever known anybody that actually happened to? Heck no. You can help a whole lot of people for $1. You can transform somebody's country for, 25. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like don't be stopped, because the very movement of serving transforms the energetic presence of you. And when you prove to the law that you're going to do it now, then more will come for you to do it later. But if you say to the law, I'm going to do it later, well, they're going to talk about you in your memorial. You know what I mean? I told you that we're here to offer comfort to the afflicted, and we're here today to afflict the comfortable. Not every conversation needs to be that we're just smiling and giddy. But inside your soul, if you're living the truth, you will always be giddy and enjoy, right? And so when King made his declaration and he made his speech of, I have a dream, he didn't get people to go get their guns and weapons. He didn't come across with anger. He didn't set out to build walls. He simply spoke from an authoritative place that says, I've been practicing, and here I am, and I'm in the game, and I want you to be in the game, and I'm going to create a future that all of you can step into. And we're off to a start, but we've got more to do, right? And we've got more things to be a part of and to allow to unfold. I love this thing. I keep it on my phone so I can read it sometime when I start talking about what somebody could do. Here it goes. There's a story about 4 people named everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. And there was an important job to be done, and everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody would do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could. Right? So that's that synergistic space in which we can live and move and have our being, for sure. And I pray for each and every one of you that you heal any false idea that you are broken. For you are made in the image and likeness of God. If you're ashamed of whatever you have going on, then you are representing a God in shame. And that is not who we are. And that is not what we do. And I'm sorry that in your generation nobody was out loud. But we need you right now. And we need you to be out loud right now. It's your time, and it's my time. There was a woman in Ireland that, at the turn of the century, she was known for her wealth, and she decided she was going to put electricity in her home, and she was quite frugal, so people were kind of surprised about it. So the meter reader came to her home a month later, and he went and knocked on her door, and he said, "Ma'am, I thought you had electricity. I thought you had, that you're using it." She said, "Well, when the sunset comes and it starts to get a little dark, I turn the power on just long enough to light my candles, and then I turn my lights back off." You see, she was connected to the power, but she didn't use it. Her house was set up, but it wasn't altered. And that's the invitation about where we are, is to allow yourself to be altered, to allow you to use the power that's greater than you are and show people really, in every walk of life, what God really is. Because through you, quite frankly, is the only way that so many of them will ever know. Thank you for being here. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, who are we, First Unity Community? Yes. To step up and be bold. So here we are, all together. And we know it's no accident. It's never an accident. Today we are here all together in a community that one day was just dreamed about. We are a movement in radical positivity. We are a community that is all-inclusive and all-welcoming. A community come together without regard to outward differences, much like Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed about. At First Unity Spiritual Campus, We are stepping boldly forward into a world only previously dreamed about, creating difference makers, showcasing influencers, and being a lighthouse for all, shining a light on a better way, a practical way to live with spirituality in your life every day. I want to thank our Board of Trustees for always being there for us and believing in our vision. I want to thank all of the Club 104 members who believe in our vision and make it possible. I want to thank all of you who have been in-person congregants and those of you who are new virtual congregants for believing in our vision and our mission. Thank you for being loyal to this ministry, for giving of yourself and giving of your treasures to keep us thriving. I'll share with you that 2020 has not been a great year for businesses, nor has it been a great year for nonprofit organizations. But just this past week, Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, in a breaking news video, was released to CNN, the New York Times, the LA Times, ABC World News Tonight, and all the local news outlets. And in that breaking news video, she challenged leaders everywhere that it's time to step up, not down. So thank you for stepping up with your tithes and offerings. And if you have not yet made your tithe and commitment to this ministry, I call on you now, in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., there are some things we must do. In 1955, Dr. Martin Luther King spoke these words: "We all recognize the fact that we stand today on the threshold of the most amazing period of our nation's history. We look around and we see the walls of segregation gradually crumbling. And let nobody fool you. All of the loud noises that you hear today in terms of nullification and interposition are merely the death groans of a dying system." Wow. How relevant is that right now, today in our society? Aren't those words so very appropriate? His words were timeless. They easily reflect the state of our nation today. And we are so blessed to have Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, who in that same vein as Dr. Martin Luther King, teaches a practical application of spirituality. That was part of the dream, that people would step up and be leaders and allow people to live their life every day in practical spirituality as their way of being. So I ask you now to support this ministry and our vision as we create a movement of radical positivity for the world, an inclusive world where we can all come together in oneness without regard to differences, without regard to skin color, the language spoken, or anything that divides us. We can reveal and heal. So handle your finances spiritually, and they'll take care of you. So please download our mobile app today, and you can easily click on that little yellow heart to give and support this ministry. You can also go to firstunity.org and click on the give button that's yellow right up at the top of the home page. And you can navigate directly to firstunity.org/give. And again, thank you for your support of the vision, the mission of this ministry, and blessings be upon you. I have a dream.
I have a dream. Some kind of dream.
Sorry, I wanted to pick it up to mine.
I have a dream.
You can do it on your back or on your belly.
have a dream, we must teach our children, as we said in Spiritually Speaking earlier, teach our children, pass the history down. And maybe some of us should stop dreaming and wake up. We shall overcome. 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 Oh, deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. I do believe. I do believe. We shall overcome. We shall overcome today. We'll walk hand in hand. 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 Today. Oh, deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. I do believe. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand today. Now, if you believe we are not afraid, stand and sing with us. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Deep in my heart, I do believe. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. The truth shall make us free. Truth shall make us free. The truth shall make us free. Truth shall make us free. The truth shall make us free. Truth shall make us free. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. I do believe. The truth shall make us free. Truth shall make us free today. We shall live in peace, brothers and sisters. We shall live in peace. We shall live. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace today. Deep in my heart, I truly do believe. I do believe. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace today. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome today. Deep in my heart, I do believe. We shall overcome. We shall overcome
Whew. Wow. What an amazing day. Oh, yes. Well, how blessed are we to have Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, Reverend Wanda Nero Butler, Reverend Rebekah Mooney, Reverend Christie Hardwick, such amazing, wonderful leaders on our spiritual leadership team to lead us in the way and to know, oh, it's, you just feel like you're in a Baptist Southern church and you're just going to start shouting. And if you do, that's okay because you're probably right in your own home and just go right to it. Just keep on shouting. So this afternoon, make sure you join us for Getting Proximate with Reverend Christie Hardwick at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you're out there in another time zone across the world, you'll know that time reference and know when to tune in. It's going to be right there on our website at firstunity.org, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, Getting Proximate. And she's also going to share with you a multimedia presentation of photos and video of when she retraced those steps in Montgomery, Alabama, and Selma that she spoke about earlier. It's just going to be an awesome experience, and you don't want to miss it. And then Masanka Banda is going to be joining from Africa with a drumming ritual. Oh, wow, you just can't miss that. It's going to be at 1:30 this afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, so join. And then next Sunday, we have Vincent Jenna joining us as an influencer. He's going to be talking about stopping yourself. So if you find that going into this new year that you are standing all there in your own way, Vincent is going to give you some tips and show you how to stop stopping yourself and get with it and experience life as we've only dreamed, as we've only imagined. So that's going to be next Sunday during the service. And then coming up February the 12th, all of our ministerial leadership team that is led by Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes will be right here on this platform with our First Unity Voices and Reverend Wanda, Nero, Butler. We will be offering you a service of Love is the Answer. Each and every one of us will speak from our own experience and our own perspective of how love is the answer. It's always an amazing and moving service, our oneness service, and this is going to be our first virtual oneness service. So join us. It's going to be live streamed from our website, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. So you can all join in at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, February the 10th. Then we have, coming up, a mastermind series of classes, How Manifestors Manifest. It's a 3-part series taught by our very own Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes. It's going to be March 9th, March 16th, and March 23rd. You can do 1, you can do 2, you can do all 3. You can get a special deal if you bundle all 3 together, and that's going to start at 7 o'clock each of those evenings, March 9th, 16th, and 23rd. So make sure you download that app so that you can see all that, get registered for that on our website or on our app. So be watching because it's coming. You really don't want to miss that. Mastermind, How Manifestors Manifest. It's so exciting. So exciting.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey.
there you are.
I love it that you're so excited about being excited. That's
Yeah.
just so you.
Yeah, it is me.
All right, and mentioning those great leaders, you're right in there too, Reverend Kimberley. Let's give her some love too. Very grateful, very grateful. And now let us stand and as we thank the band and our media team and everyone for this spiritual broadcast, these amazing, talented people and creativity. Yeah, we thank you for tuning in today, absolutely. So let us sing the peace song.
Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Now there is peace on earth. Yes, this is the moment now. In every step I take, let this be my joyous vow.
Great job.
Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me.
And peace begins
Right here and right now.
Let us affirm together our unity prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light.
The
love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. For God is amazing.
All the time.
And all the time.
God is amazing.
God bless you. Have a wonderful week.
New Cupid. Come on, Rebekah.
Whoa. Hey, baby.
Time for a change. Y'all know it. Get up out of your seat. Down, down, do your dance. Do you got a brand new dance? Do your dance?
I've done it in a while. Don't get behind Miss Joy.
They say I'm a rapper, and I say no. They say what you're doing, trying to do some zydeco. I just let the music come from my soul, so all of my people can stay on the floor. They got a brand new dance. You gotta move your muscles. A brand new dance. It's called the Cupid Shuffle. It don't matter if you're young or you're old. Here we go.
Walk it, walk it, walk it.
To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left.
Oh, baby!
Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now
Walk it, walk it, walk it, walk it, walk it, walk it.
Come on, down, down, do your dance, do your dance, do your dance.
Now walk it.
Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Right on the right. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance.
Come on, walk it.
Must dance. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, come on, man. To the left, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. You see what I'm talking about? Oh, I represent for the dirty side.
We're gonna bring it down here. Come on. You take my place.
Go, 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 get it, go get it.
Woo!